Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you very much for joining. This is just going to be a run through for my 2020 setup as well as my January layout. So as you guys know, I have been using the Happy Planner. Very happy with the disc system. I was using the vertical layout, however that doesn't really give me enough space to note down all my tasks, so I have decided to start using the bullet journal method and the layouts that go with that. So let's just get into it. My phrase for the year is chase your bliss, and my word for the year is progress. I decided to go with the steampunk theme. As you can see, we've got some gears, and then for my themes for the rest of the year, I have incorporated some steampunk items like a clock watch or specs goggles, and I also introduced the seasons as well as a couple of elements like copper and iron. Then we move on to the year at a glance. I decided to bring this one into my planner just as an overview for when I do my planning, and then also just to note down when my paydays are, because I get paid fortnightly. This is my future log. I am very happy with how this came out. Very simple, clean lines, so quite excited to jump into 2020 so that I can start populating all the information for this. Two of the spreads that I've thought that I'll add into my everyday catch-all is a cleaning schedule. I just want to keep a bit more track of when I do certain things, like say for instance vacuuming. I just want to be make sure that obviously you can see when the last time was that you vacuumed, but because I'm allergic to dust, I do need to do that a bit more often than what I probably do at the moment. As for my task list, I haven't decided as to whether or not I want to do a task list for work and then split it in half and do personal tasks, or whether I want to do a task list and then another page with a task list for personal items. So that's still to be decided. Because I'm an impulse buyer, I thought introducing the want and need spread into my catch-all would be really good, just to kind of give me that pause before I just buy something. So we'll see how we go with introducing this into the mix. Right, then on to my January layout. So as I showed you guys my themes, this theme is watches and clocks. I got a very nice picture of a pocket watch, and then I just added some words that came to mind when thinking about clocks and watches. Time management, planning, and then also just one thing to keep in mind is time is very precious, so that will be great with keeping me focused on setting my goals and planning for 2020. The monthly layout as per the bullet journal method, I started doing that in December. Doing okay with that, and then I thought I'll just continue using that throughout. So I'm not much of a memory keeper myself, but I thought that this would actually be quite ideal because I can just put in a little one-liner, and at the end of the year just do a quick review of all the things that have happened. Two of the things that I want to focus on this year, as well as a couple of other things, but just for more of my creative side of things, is doodling. I've decided every month is going to have its own doodle theme. So for January, I am going to look for characters that remind me of my family members. My dad is a Leo, so I thought I'd find a little lion doodle and then doodle my dad as a lion. One of the other things that I want to put a bit more effort into learning how to do is lettering. Most of my lettering is either stamps or printing or using my label maker, so I thought that that would actually just be a very nice way of putting a bit more creativity into all my own unique touch on my bullet journaling. So 2 of the books that I got for my birthday was the Happy Hand Lettering, and also Kelly Creates Learn Brush Lettering. So I was watching Heather Cow, and she was doing a review on, I think, both of these, yeah, for on her channel. So do you go and check her out. Right, because I'll be on leave until the 13th of January, I decided not to do a weekly spread. I've got just a little to-do list, and I'll just keep adding to that until I get back to work. So the way that I'm going to be using my weekly spread going forward is I'm going to list all my tasks that I need to do for that week, or as tasks come in, I'll be jotting them down, and then at some stage, based on where I'm at, I will be doing allocating them into my weekly spread. Every morning I really do a bit of forward planning, just reviewing what's on the cards, and then deciding what will be done when. This is what my weekly layout looks like. The only tracker I've got on here is for my water. I've got a smartwatch that does my steps for me, my workouts, and then also it has I think the Apple Watch has rings or something. So the Samsung Active has a little heart. So it showed you active calories burnt, your movement, and then your workout for the day. So that pretty much tracks a lot of my main stuff that I want to keep an eye on for 2020. And then just back to the weekly log. So I will then list all my tasks in the bullet journal method, and then tick those off as I go along. So that's my 2020 setup so far, as well as my January layout. Then I just have some notes paper in here, sectioned off for my 2 different managers. Then I have my food tracking, because in January I will be starting and getting back on track for my fitness and my healthy lifestyle. So I just want to record everything on a list. I think in this format will probably be a lot easier to track how I am doing and what I'm doing right, or where I can improve on some things. Okay, so onto the trackers. I have my measurements of my weight on the one side. This comes out of one of the fitness planners. I think it was this one. I got it on sale at Warehouse for $10, so I don't know what year this was. And then I decided I wanted to do a year in pixels in relation to my moods. I will link the lady's channel and her video that she did on her year in pixels, because I used her breakdown of her moods as well. I thought that was actually quite accurate, so I'm looking forward to seeing how I get on for the year. Then, because I'm quite focused on my habits and tracking how I'm getting on and implementing some new habits. Well, new habits, yes, some new habits, and just trying to make healthier decisions. I decided that that should have its own quote as well. So I decided on "You're what you repeatedly do." Then I was watching a video. I'll link the lady's channel below as well. I ended up using her icons. Just on that note, this productivity level spread was not her idea. So I'll link the chap that actually came up with this idea, his video as well. He's asked that people just highlight that it is his idea, which is fair enough. So I'll link that in the description box below. So with this is mainly why I decided I wanted to do this is sometimes we are a bit hard on ourselves when it comes to our productivity, and I felt that this would actually be quite good just to show that, you know what, you're not just sitting around doing nothing all day, you are actually doing a few things. And then also at the same time is if you're having a more of a lazy day, just to highlight, oh yeah, I've only done a couple of things, maybe, you know, do 2 or 3 more things for that day. So I think this will be quite nice to track how I'm doing, as well as motivating me to do a few more things if I'm not tracking all that well. Right, so then I have my habit trackers. I've been using these habits or tracking these habits for probably about 4 months. I've decided that I'm still going to keep them in place as I am not consistently doing them every single day. There's probably about a week every month that I completely fall off the wagon and I just do whatever I want to. So I think that keeping these in mind is still probably quite important for me, and so I'll be keeping these as well as going through my collections. You guys will have a look at my reward system, and my trackers are I reward myself for how well I do on my trackers, so we'll be going through that as well. Then I have my period log, just to keep an eye on, you know, hormones and how things are going in that aspect. And then I weigh myself every Sunday. I haven't done that this Sunday, which I probably should do. Yeah, I'll get to that. Anyway, and then moving on to the fitness. So same as with the food or my meal log, I decided that I'm just going to list my fitness. That way I can keep better track of how well I'm doing with my fitness, and then also when I can actually increase the intensity on certain things that I'm doing. So you'll have your reps that you do, but you do 3 sets, but you, as far as I understand, and on my review of fitness or strength training, is you increase your reps but you keep the same sets. Anyway, so this will just be a very nice way of keeping track of when I need to start increasing and pushing myself a bit harder. Then I have my budget section. So this year is going to be very much focused on saving. I decided, well, actually the next 2 years, because I decided that I want to buy myself a ute for my 40th birthday. So this is just going to be my savings log for my ute. And then for my 40th birthday, I'm hoping that my dad and his girlfriend will be able to come and visit. So I need to put some funds aside for their visit as well. Another thing that I want to tick off my list this year is paying off my credit card. So what I'm going to be doing is doing a projection and then what I'm actually paying on that. Then the only other two things that I have as debt is my car and my phone, so I just want to keep track of how those are going as well. So that is my catch-all planner. This is my planner that I carry with me every day. So then we have my collections. So because the catch-all gets quite thick, I've decided that I'll be keeping my collections at home. This is more just really a reflection, and so I don't really actually need to keep that with me I don't need to keep that with me for the entire day. So as I mentioned before, is my rewards. Ironically, my reward system uses jelly beans when I'm trying to focus on a healthier lifestyle. Bit of a funny there. So how the system works is, for every 100 grams that I lose, I get $5, and I record that with one jelly bean on the weight loss side. And then for every habit tracker completed for the week, I get $10, and that is then recorded on the habit tracker side. What I've also decided to do is just log when I'm actually spending that money, and when I've spent that money, the little jelly beans get a smiley face or just a little face on it. Otherwise, I just color in the beans. That's my reward system. And then we move on to the hobbies. So there's a couple of other hobbies that I do apart from diamond painting, and then there's also a couple of new hobbies that I would like to start getting into. So for example, I'm looking at beaded cross stitch, so I just want to record those, and this is my older list that I just want to update and put the information in here. Then I have my diamond painting list. So this also needs a bit of an update, as a lot of these have already been completed, and then I need to add them to my completed list. One of the other things that I decided to do is an info list. So this is just going to be all my policy information, life insurance and that type of thing. And then a lot of the time I can remember the password for the thing, but I can never remember the username. So I just want to start listing that information just to make it easier for me to get the access to, instead of having to go through the forgot my username spiel. I got a new desk set up. So with that, I got some new drawers, and then I moved things around and just shoved them in all random places. So for a while there, I haven't been able to find all my stuff. So I decided over this Christmas period or holiday period, I'm going to do a bit of a sort through my storage and just record everything just until I'm used to where everything is going forward. One of the things that I started doing when I started my 10,000 steps, especially over weekends, because I'm not as active as what I am during the week, I decided that I wanted to record the beaches that I go to. So I've just been taking some photos and then just recording some information on that specific beach that I go to. And then lastly, we have the miscellaneous section. So these are just things that I haven't decided where those need to go into. Right, so thank you very much for checking in, guys. I am very, very excited for 2020, and I wish you guys all the best, and I hope that you're able to achieve all those goals that you set out for yourself for 2020. And keep an eye on my channel and see how I get on. And yeah, take care of yourself and see you later.